Your hair is everything. Think about it. The first thing people notice, the last thing you check before walking out the door. You want it smooth, you want it shining, you want it so full of life that it stops people in their tracks. But here is the truth, nobody tells you. Beautiful hair does not just happen, it is built. And today, I am going to show you exactly how it is built, how it gets destroyed, and how you can repair it completely at home using something sitting in your kitchen right now. Let us start at the very beginning. What even is a strand of hair? Because if you have ever seen a hair fiber under an electron microscope, and I mean really seen it, it will change the way you think about every single thing you do to your hair. What you see is not just a thin thread. You see layers, you see structure, you see tiny overlapping scales, like roof tiles stacked perfectly on top of each other, all made of protein, all bonded together in a way that gives your hair both flexibility and strength at the same time. This is not random, this is engineering. Biological engineering at a microscopic level, and your hair is made of approximately 95% protein. That one fact alone should make you stop and think. Because every choice you make about your hair comes back to that protein structure. Now here is where it gets really interesting. On the outermost surface of every hair strand, there is a layer called the cuticle. This is your hair's armor. It is what gives your hair that glass-like shine when it catches the light. Beneath that armor is the cortex, the core, the backbone, the place where all the strength lives, and holding it all together are amino acids, specifically sulfur-containing amino acids, connected by strong bonds and looser bonds working together in a kind of perfect tension. When that system is intact, your hair is beautiful. When that system breaks down, and it can break down so easily, so quietly, so gradually, everything falls apart. So how does hair actually get made in the first place? Think of your scalp as a factory, and inside that factory, deep in each tiny hair follicle, your body is running a production line around the clock. But like any factory, the quality of what comes out depends entirely on the quality of what goes in. Your hair follicles need raw material, and the most critical raw material is protein, high quality, complete protein, along with vitamins, iron, zinc, and a collection of other nutrients that most people do not even think about when they sit down to eat. When your body has all of that in abundance, it builds strong, thick, lustrous hair. The factory runs at full capacity. But when there are deficiencies, when your diet is missing protein, when your iron levels drop, when your vitamin intake falls short, the factory does not shut down. It just starts cutting corners. It produces thinner strands, weaker strands, hair that breaks before it grows, hair that falls before it should, and that is one of the most common problems people face, and they never connect it back to what they are eating. But nutrition is only half the story, because even if your follicles are producing perfect hair, the moment that hair emerges from your scalp, it enters a hostile world. Wind, sun, pollution, friction from brushing, these are constant. And then there are the things you do deliberately. The blow dryers blasting hot air, the straighteners pressing heat directly onto the fiber, the chemical treatments altering the structure from the inside out. Every single one of these things attacks your cuticle first. Those overlapping scales that protect your hair, they lift, they separate, they crack. And once the cuticle is compromised, the cortex underneath becomes exposed. The internal proteins begin to degrade. The bonds that hold everything together start to snap. And what you are left with is what scientists call split ends. And if you have ever seen a photograph of a split end taken through an electron microscope, it is honestly difficult to look at. The fiber just unravels. It peels apart like old wood. It is a kind of quiet devastation that happens one strand at a time while you are not even paying attention. And this is the part I really need you to hear. Most of the damage happening to your hair right now is not happening because of one dramatic event. It is happening because of repetition. The same rough brush strokes every morning, the same heat applied every other day, the same chemical process done every few months. Each time the damage compounds. Each time the cuticle opens a little more, the cortex loses a little more, until one day you look in the mirror and you do not recognize your hair anymore and you cannot figure out when it happened. It happened slowly. It happened in moments you did not think mattered. They all mattered. Now, here is the part you have been waiting for. What do you do about it? How do you actually repair damage that has already happened? And the answer is sitting in your refrigerator right now. An egg. Simple, ordinary, inexpensive egg. And I am going to explain to you exactly why it works. Not just tell you it works, but show you the actual mechanism so you understand it completely. An egg has two parts, the white and the yolk. Both are extraordinary for your hair, and you can use them separately or together. A standard egg weighing around 65 grams contains approximately 6 to 7 grams of pure protein. It also contains around 5% lipids, plus vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that your hair desperately needs. But let us talk about why protein matters so much here. Your hair is 95% protein. When it gets damaged, it loses protein. The structure breaks down. The amino acid bonds snap. So when you apply egg, which is loaded with high-quality, complete protein containing essential amino acids, directly onto damaged hair, you are essentially giving the hair back what it lost. You are feeding the fiber. And the yolk, do not ever underestimate the yolk. The yolk contains not just protein, but fat, vitamin D, biotin, and a range of nutrients that do something the egg white cannot do alone. The fat in the yolk coats the hair shaft and seals in moisture. The biotin supports the structural integrity of the keratin, which is the primary protein your hair is made of. Together, the white and the yolk form one of the most complete hair repair treatments that exists, and it costs almost nothing. Now let me show you exactly what happens at the fiber level when you apply an egg mask. Picture your damaged hair strand. The cuticle scales are lifted and open. The cortex is partially exposed. The fiber looks rough, feels rough, and breaks at the slightest tension. Now you apply the egg mask. As it sits on the hair, the proteins begin to coat the lifted cuticle scales. Layer by layer, the protein fills in the gaps. It does not just sit on the surface. It bonds to the damaged areas, filling in the spaces where the original protein was lost. By the time you rinse it off, the cuticle scales have been smoothed back down. The cortex is protected again. And when light hits that hair shaft now, instead of scattering off lifted, irregular scales, it reflects off a smooth, even surface. And that is where the shine comes from. That is the science of beautiful hair, not magic. Protein coating, physical smoothing, structural repair. Here is how you make it. Take 2 eggs. Crack them into a bowl, both the white and the yolk, or just the yolk if your hair is particularly dry. Beat them until you have a smooth, even mixture. Add a tablespoon of olive oil or coconut oil. Some people add a small amount of honey. It helps with moisture and application. Mix it thoroughly until it becomes a uniform paste. Apply it to your hair from root to tip, making sure every strand is coated. If you are applying it to dry hair, work it in section by section so nothing gets missed. Once it is applied, cover your hair and leave it for 30 minutes. Then wash it out thoroughly. Make sure you rinse completely, because leftover residue will do the opposite of what you want. Use a gentle shampoo, and if you do this consistently, not once, not twice, but as a regular practice, look at the before and after photographs. The hair that was dull and rough becomes visibly smoother. It starts to catch the light again. It starts to grow with more strength. It starts to feel like hair again. So let me leave you with this. Your hair is not just dead cells hanging from your scalp. It is a living record of every decision you make. What you eat, how you treat it, what you expose it to, how much attention you give it. Protect it from unnecessary heat. Brush it gently. Give your body the protein and nutrients it needs to build strong hair from the root, and give your damaged strands the egg mask they need to recover from the outside. Both matter, both work together, and together they will give you the hair you actually want. Not someday, but starting right now.